안녕하세요. 필라델피아 퓨전에서 DPS를 맡고 있는 카르페 이재혁이라고 합니다.
힐러를 맡고 있는 알람 김경보입니다. 정규 시즌 성적은 연습 시간에 비해서 되게 잘 나왔던 것 같아요.
오, 대세 만호. 하지만 거리 나눠주고. 오, 나눠면 거리. 와, 이거 그냥 믿음의 나노. 와, 가져올 수 있거든요. 이렇게 말이죠. 몇 명이에요?
와, 이거 너무 잘 들어갔어요.
야, 이 명경기 속에서 결국 여기까지 최종 승자는 필라델피아 퓨전입니다.
제가 합류를 하고 나서 10일차에 경기를 치렀거든요. 다른 팀 3달, 4달 연습한 거에 비해서 우리 팀의 10일 연습량이 더 뛰어나지 않았나.
그 말은 다음 토너먼트에서 저희가 우승한다는 얘기겠죠.
저희 요즘
너무 행복해요.
요즘 행복하고 있는 것 같아요. 이번 정규 시즌에서 경기 결과가 좋지가 않았는데 새로운 멤버들도 들어왔고 하니까 천천히 이제 좀 합을 맞추고 있다고 생각하고 있어가지고.
자, 뉴욕 엑셀시어 빠르게 뚫을 수도 있습니다. 오, 블로라 한방 교환이면 뉴욕 불어요. 아, 이러면 수비가 블랙파. 이거 마지막 기회였는데.
각자만의 색깔이 좀 있다 해야 되나? 이제 그런 좀 장점이 많이 큰 것 같아요. 저희 팀이 차라리 신생팀이라서 나중에 되면 더 잘할 것 같아요.
아이비 선수가 작년까지 저희 팀이었거든요.
뉴욕에 가서 좀 헤매는 느낌? 좀 망가진 것 같기도 하고.
꽃길인 줄 알고 보내줬는데 알고 보니 사방이 지뢰밭이더라고요.
꽃씨도 심었고 물도 줬으니까 이제 꽃만 피면 될 것 같다.
개개인 피지컬은 확실히 좋은데 적응하는 부분에서 문제가 있었던 것 같아요. 누구나 처음은 있잖아요. 이제 시험 끝났어요.
앙카야, 너 요즘 대회 많이 나오던데 연습 좀 많이 해야겠더라? 너 이제 후보 아니다?
형 작년 시즌 기억 안 나? 형 대회에서 실수 많이 해서 코치님이 나 많이 내보냈던 거.
안 들려, 안 들려.
뉴욕의 장점은 쪼낙이 있다? 근데 쪼낙밖에 없다? 누가 누군지 잘 모르겠어요. 존재감이 없다고 해야 하나?
이번 경기에서 제가 잘 보여드리겠습니다. 퓨전의 약점은 메인 힐러 쪽인 것 같고요. 후비 선수 루시우 여기가 좀 그렇더라고요.
헤더 선수 메이벽 이상하게 치던데 이런 거 말해도 되나? 벽으로 팀원을 막더라고요. 벽을 막는 게 아니라.
테러가 공격에 막혀 있었는데 저 쪼낙 선수 입장 물어봐야 되지 않나? 저 플로라서 잡힐 줄 알았어요.
그래서 좀 웃겼다? 헤더 선수 메이벽 연습 많이 하고 오셨죠?
네, 어제 안 그래도 루시우랑 등반 좀 했어요. 걔네는 다 문제인데 탱커가 제일 문제예요. 다 저희한테 줬잖아요. 왜 주는지 모르겠어요. 저희가 고맙죠.
그거는 인정은 하는데.
만호 삼촌 나이가 많이 드셔서 방벽 뜨는 게 많이 힘들어 보여요. 모니터 너무 오래 보지 마시고요. 눈도 침침하신데.
저희 팀의 강점은 다 어리다는 거? 스킬력도 빠르고 반응도 빠른 거. 퓨전은 일단 나이가 많기 때문에 올해 안에 발발 썰 것 같아요. 저희한테 손 이렇게 늙어서 가망이 없다.
호은 좀 노잼입니다.
저희 팀은 다 베테랑 선수들로 구성이 돼 있어서 대회 때 더 애들이 집중도 잘하고 짬에서 나오는 바이브가 있다는 거죠.
뉴욕은 확실히 신인이라 그런지 대회만 나오면 아주 발발 떨던데요?
예상 스코어는 무조건 3대요. 귀엽네요. 누가 0이죠?
3대 0은 좀 그러니까 3대 2로 저희가 이기는 거죠.
저희가 또 실수를 많이 하면 1점 정도는 줄 수도 있을 것 같아요. 아, 도발하면 안 되는데.
저는 또락 형한테 좀 도발적인 거 좀 하고 싶어요. 박지영, 원래 형이 제일 잘했었잖아. 근데 그건 다 옛날 얘기고 이젠 나인 것 같아.
총 한번 쏠까요?
저희는 이제 뜨는 애고 필라델피아 퓨전은 이제 지는 애네요. 필라델피아 퓨전의 석양이 진다. 다음. 감사합니다.
앉아서 박수. 자기 잘했다고 치는 눈앞에서.
하나, 둘, 셋.
Hey, welcome back to the Overwatch League, and hello to everybody watching the Encore broadcast again. Here we are, Doa and ZP about to cast a really awesome game of Overwatch, or perhaps a couple awesome games, actually. NYXL versus Philadelphia Fusion. Obviously, Fusion, a team that exceeded expectations by quite a bit in the May Melee, I think. Doing better overall than a lot of people were expecting, especially with some of the visa issues that they were having with some of their players, coming in and really performing well. NYXL on the other side is a team that has so much talent but just seems to kind of struggle putting it together. They did okay, but I think people were looking for a little bit more. Going into this series, ZP, what are your expectations? How do you rate this?
I mean, my expectations is that if the Fusion carry on with how they played in the May Melee, I think that this should be a relatively easy victory for the Fusion around the lines of a 3-1. But New York is also a team with a lot of potential on it. That potential was not really realized over the course of the May Melee. They're a team that also came in for whatever it's worth now, which is, by the way, not a lot, especially after we see results. But they were a team that in the preseason, people are high on them on Scrimbuck. So in theory, there's a point where New York can put it all together. But they were a team that was often not on the same page and out of sync over the course of the May Melee. So, now we get to see, will the June Joust be any different for the Excelsior?
Fair enough. Going back to the May Melee for a moment, we had some of you out there put together some amazing frag videos. You saw a link at the bottom of your screen just a moment ago. You can go back on the VOD if you missed it. Go there, vote for what you think is the best, and we'll find out who is chosen for the best frag video. I did a little bit of the judging on that as well. You did too, and there were some pretty good ones in there, so go check that out. That said, let's take a look at two of the players that we're going to see here, two of the support players that we're going to see go head-to-head in this series. It's going to be Jonak and Alarm. I still can't help but think of Alarm as a tank player because he was way back when I casted him in Apex in Korea. He's obviously been a support for years since then, but I still kind of think of him that way. But ZP, when you put anyone's numbers up against Jonak, it's going to look a little bit rough. But that said, Jonak, he's got the healing done, but everything else, Alarm is actually coming out better right now.
Yeah, extremely so. I mean, this is just dominant. Look, Alarm is very arguably the very best support in the entire league. This is one of those things where if someone comes out of a time machine from season 1, they go, what do you mean? What's happened to Jonak? It's not even like Jonak is necessarily played bad or anything this season. It's that Alarm is excellence personified. Alarm is the support role right now, and Alarm is one of the key reasons why the Fusion have done so well, where he has that unique power, a power that you used to see often in Jonak, when he was at his peak of no fight is over while Alarm is still around. Alarm is able to turn fights that should not be turnable with just incredible plays. And it's one of the biggest reasons, like I said, that the Fusion are doing well right now. So you look at the stat as a Philly fan, you go, yep, that's our guy. And we can't wait to see more of him.
I mean, the interesting thing, too, is we would normally think of Jonak mostly in the Zenyatta role, but Zenyatta isn't available in the June Joust. So while he's good on some of these other supports, he's not going to be able to play his marquee hero, which for me feels a little bit bad because I love watching him play Zenyatta, but it also is going to be a little bit of pressure on him to perform better on that Ana than we saw in the May Melee. There is our lineup for our first map here coming out from New York Excelsior, Flora Feather, Yakpung, and the rest, Mono, Hotba, Alarm, and Toby, of course. And on the Philadelphia side, we've got things a little bit mixed up, it looks there. But, yeah. Well, what do you want to say about that screen, ZP? You know what I want to say? At the bottom, it looks like kind of a record. You'd scratch it and do a little bit of a DJ mix.
Interesting.
What would your DJ name be, ZP?
It'd probably have to be DJ like Z, and then I don't know, something poppy with pop, not pop, but like some P that made sense, because that's just been the way of the world recently, where people just take ZP and apply whatever they want to it as of late.
It's true. I have a pet in a different game that I've named Z Parrot.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
So there you go.
I hope you're treating the Z Parrot well. But one thing I do want to say before we get too far moved, the one thing for New York that has looked really, really good this season, Flora. Flora has been insane, and Flora has been a big reason why when New York has looked well and they've taken fights, it's been off of Flora's hit scan play, and that's one thing in this current hero pool that shouldn't be ultra change. I think we saw McCree still play, maybe not quite as much, but it's something that New York hopefully is going to be playing around and enabling here.
Yeah. Who's that Pokemon? It's Hotba or Toby. They have the same silhouette, believe it or not. We're moments away from getting into our first map. It's going to be Lijiang Tower for Control, but I'm just excited about seeing this one, because the thing is more than anything, we can have different expectations set about these two teams, but before we see them get into the map and actually get to see the matches, it's hard to predict, right? When hero pools become a factor, it definitely does change the dynamic. You have teams like the Shanghai Dragons that look like they were born to play with this hero pool, and then you have other teams that are going to fall by the wayside where they may have done a little bit better in June. So I just kind of want to get into it and see how they kind of get a look at this meta.
Well, one thing I think you also have to draw a comparison on both the teams is that, New York, you're still looking at a team that has, newer players by comparison to the Fusion, where, the Fusion, this is a team of veterans with one of the best rookies, no longer rookie, but like one of the best players to come in strong as rookie, now just like the dominant leader in support. So, I mean, if there's any team that should have the versatility to come into a new meta, hero pools or not, and go, yeah, this is no problem. I mean, it's a Fusion. You don't get more experience in this. Also, fun part here is that Mono gets to face off against his former team. So I don't think there's really much of a revenge element there, but Mono certainly knows the best way to get under New York overall. Certainly going to be looking out for Jonak.
Sure, we talked about that before, actually, in the May Melee, that Mono might have a little bit of insight. That said, there's a lot of names that have changed over on the NYXL side than were there when he was part of the team. So you've got that insight, but then you've also got some new people to sort of deal with. So you always expect there to be a little bit of mind games, but as time goes on, that becomes less and less of a factor here. That said, it is always kind of a little bit fun to face your former team. None more so than when we saw Fearless on the Dallas Fuel able to take out his former team to win the May Melee. So it is kind of neat when storylines like that pop up every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you drill down on it's like Mono versus Jonak and the coaching staff, which, fair enough. I mean, even coaching staffs over time have tendencies and things they want to favor, ways they want to play. So, still a factor.
Well, we're moments away again from getting into the map, just waiting for the players to get situated in the lobby. I believe they are, so ZP, it is time in just a moment to get into our first map of the day. I'm going to share my DJ name with you. Do you want to know what it is?
All right, what is it? Hit me with it.
I wanted to go for a little bit of a science fiction angle on it, so mine is Philip K. Slick, actually.
Philip K. Slick. It's unexpected, but I can dig it. It makes sense.
No one's going to get it.
Somehow.
Lijiang Tower is our first map. It's night on Lijiang Tower. Maybe they're dreaming of electric sheep. That's what Zenyatta's doing. He's just taking a nap because he's not in the hero pool.
Yeah, he's gone. He got the month off. Finally, some time to see the world. Maybe embezzle Mondada's gold, Whatever Zenyatta does, it is spare time.
We made it pretty far into this season without Mondada's gold coming into the cast. I'm impressed.
It had to happen. Look, you have all your catchphrases. Got to bring back an old classic.
We talked about Street Sharks. Got to bring up Mondada's gold, apparently, too.
At some point, it'll be written into the lore. Somehow. Hex told me I can't invent lore, but what does he know? He's a producer now.
Fair enough.
More.
So here we go, getting things started. Carpe getting his team boost with the Symmetra before swapping onto the Hangzhou. We do have Rascal on the Pharah as well. So damage from on high. Feather's going to be able to try to match with the Echo. Mercy's on both sides, so we've come to see quite a bit in the APAC region. Flora on that McCree is going to be one to watch as well.
Flora, as mentioned, one of the bright spots for this New York roster this year. Feather working on the outskirts. Hoppa already pretty low. Focus coming on in. The healing, though, outpacing it is Feather. Under a little bit of pressure now onto the outskirts. Oh, Rascal, direct rocket. Another moving in. Feather, though, gonna get healed back up. Both teams slow to full 6. Yakpong under pressure here off the Bionade. Super low. Carpe caught. Nice. Rascal, though, finished off Yakpong. And it's still 5-on-5, though. Both teams getting their licks in.
I mean, Flora does find Rascal finally with that Deadeye, but Rascal certainly got the damage done. That said, it will only be maybe a little bit of percentage before NYXL takes this point back again. They'll nearly get it. I think they'll finally secure it now. That's right. Only 8% gained for the Philadelphia Fusion. Not the start they were really looking for, but that was a hard-fought battle, ZP.
Yeah, it really was. And I think right now, if you're the Fusion, you're looking to adapt. Number one thing here, deal with Flora, who's already making his presence known here on the McCree, and I do think the Fusion will adapt pretty quickly.
Do you think the Hangzhou is really it for Carpe? I feel like maybe you make a change here. Well, Friday is down. That's going to help quite a bit. Feather, though.
Yeah, that was really nice by Rascal.
Nano Boost used as well. I don't know if they're going to get a whole lot on that Nano Boost. It is a bit of a delay, though, as they go in with the Diva now.
Yeah, but this is almost a panic Diva here, where it's going to buy a little bit of time, but the Fusion have such a better move in here. I mean, yeah, it's a duplicate. Go for it, whatever. But Carpe laying in the arrows from above. The Fusion looking for a little bit more. The bomb from Hoppa deals with Feather as the duplicate fades.
Carpe
Descend
does indeed.
pretty up
Carpe
here.
backs off a moment. The ult.
He's going to get the Mercy. Not quite.
Yep, he's going to go ahead and throw a zoning Dragon Strike down there. Ooh, nearly catches Jonak as well, but mostly just trying to find a way to get his team back on there. They do manage to flip it, and with Rascal rezzed, we'll see how long the Philadelphia Fusion can hold this. Yeah, I think New York probably wants to back up, give a little bit of space. They've got a few ultimates to use. What's up?
You asked me about Carpe's Hanzo, what I think about it. We just saw a segment where Carpe just kind of missed almost every era for a while there, so I'd say historically he's looked good at points, but did not look great there, even though Fusion won the fight. That was that was a little bit tough.
We know he's a decent Hanzo, but he doesn't have that Tracer to fall back on this time as well. So what are we going to see? Well, we're going to see Rascal drop right there as Floor picks up another one on the McCree. That Deadeye going to be even more deadly, and New York might not even need it. Nana boots onto Bianca now. Do you think NYXL can pull it off?
Well, right now it's looking pretty darn decisive. Not really much question to that one. They did have to, invest some degree of ults there, Flora, though, set up for next. And yeah, Carpe swapped to McCree. I think this is good. The arrows were not landing, Doa, and this is much more Carpe's bread and butter. So I think this is a good swap coming in from the Fusion.
I think it's important to have a good Hanzo player in this meta with this hero pool, but at the end of the day, Carpe is going to do better on those hit scans. Glad to see him swap to the McCree, but is it too late? They need to win a couple fights here to be able to win this round.
Nice against those getting Yakman somehow got away, but
Hotba!
The bomb sealed his fate, cut off his escape. The resurrection is there, but Fusion, they're going to take a lot of presence on the point as a result of this. Carpe under a little bit of pressure, duplicate into the back, and already stripped away. As Carpe looking to overtime now. But here comes the bomb.
New York zoning. Yakpong manages to take out Hotba before he can get back into the mech again. And Flora with the kill on Mono seems to have sealed the deal for this round anyway. New York. Oh, overtime extended just a little bit, but I don't know if Rascal's will be able to keep this going for much longer.
But Carpe gets a Deadeye.
All right.
Oh, can't stand the point.
Oh. Well, they didn't really have anyone durable to put on there. You can see the two tanks through the wall there were not even close. And so NYXL comes out swinging. It gets that first round.
Yeah, and on one hand, New York did look better there. Certainly, Flora looked very on point. I think Feather on Echo was totally fine. The one thing I look back at, though, is that Rascal had a bit of a monster round for the Fusion, and the only reason why Fusion didn't, basically run away from it as a result of that is that Carpe was a bit off on the Hanzo, where if the Fusion adjusts to something they're generally better at, I do think this next round could be quite a bit tougher for New York, but we'll see how it pans out. Certainly as it gets to night market, comp swap.
Hanzo didn't seem to be it for Carpe on that one. He's going to actually go over to the Soldier 76 now. Flora as well seems to be a pretty common pick. Getting started in this hero pool on this map point specifically. A lot of good angles, a lot of good flanks you can use. Let's see what Flora's waiting for here. Good way to handle the Echo as well.
Rascal swooping on in. Fusion trying to take the fight to the point a little bit earlier. Both teams feeling each other out. And now Mono decides to move on over. A little bit of pressure on the Yakpong. Turns into a lot of bit of pressure. Bionade's inside. Yakpong's still alive. He's still somehow alive with the Bionade. Yakpong was able to shake the pressure, gets healed back up, as Bianca nearly bites it. Also healed. Jonak fluxed the healing stat we saw before. Drops the nano on the Yakpong as he looks to move back in, but here's the problem. They don't get a pick off. Alarm has a nano of his own. And here we go the other way. Mono goes to the back, takes down Flora. And we'll see if that's all the Fusion need. They do give up first cap to New York, though.
They take 14%. Now New York gets a percentage of their own going here. Yakpong getting slept really was amazing. It helped Philly survive. And there's Feather over onto the Ana. Okay, trying to build a fast nano boost. It looks like they decide they need a bit more healing to keep the percentage rolling. He's going to get that nano boost onto Yakpong, and Yakpong's going to put it to great use here.
New York fighting right back. Another nano on the Yakpong to set that up. And now Primal right for Yakpong. Probably going to be used here soon. It's going to need to, just a delay, as Rascal goes wild on the duplicate onto the other end. Going to be looking for Flora here. Flora, though, still alive, takes down Rascal before falling in turn.
This game is a bloodbath,
so back and forth. It really is.
It certainly is. Yeah, and through all that, Philly did manage to flip the point in their favor, but for how long? little bit more damage on the hotbed there. Flora needs to back off, make sure he stays safe. Carpe down, everyone on Philly down, and it looks like New York will be able to flip it back.
Yeah, you would think
more.
the way this game has gone so far, who knows? Feather, the quick execute onto Carpe. And yeah, New York should be evening this up 41-41, but how back and forth has this been, Doa? Absolutely wild thus far.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're seeing is just a lot of really nice individual plays on both sides right now, and so you're going to have a really scrappy series because of that. And also teams just kind of getting used to playing against it. You know, you're going to have heroes coming at you from angles that you're not expecting because you're going to have heroes that you're not expecting as much. And it takes some time to adjust to that, even at the pro level.
Right, so the Fusion, they're buying their time, but they shouldn't be buying it for too long here. New York at 65% and climbing. The time for Fusion to go in has to be soon. And it sets me New York with the first move. Nano boost out early. Flora, though, in response, the Rocket finds Alarm. Carpe, though, attack visor up. It's on the Feather. 5-on-5. Carpe over to the side. Gonna be pushing off the
they
Diva.
lose mono.
Yeah. Also, Fusion have to get onto the point here. They're losing time. 82%. They might not get another fight, Doa.
Yep, that's right. It's do or die right now for the Philadelphia Fusion. It's one more fight, and then they need to hold it, not let New York take it back here. Flora pretty close to another ultimate as well. New York in firm position here to try to hold it. It's going to come down on the Philly side a lot to what Rascal can do with this Echo ultimate. You can see he's trying to get the flank here. Who's he going to pick?
Overtime. Comes in from the back, was looking for the assassination.
Ooh, Yakpung down. Flora down as well. Philly, they may have done it here.
Yeah, those two early picks really turned the tide. Jonak, though, looking to fight. Okay, Rascal closes Iana to fight Jonak on Iana.
3 HP for Rascal, and he lives.
Why not? I mean, for Fusion, you didn't want to be greedy on saving ults here. You just wanted to make sure you got the point. But this is such a golden opportunity for New York to come back in and take map 1.
I'm just amazed. I mean, how insane is this? How back and forth is the series so far? This has been great. We'll see if New York can lock it in. Like you said, they got a good opportunity. They've got the ultimates they need. Can they put them to good use, though?
We'll just have to see Mono. There's some heavy pressure. Really doesn't want to use the Primal until absolutely necessary. Yakpung, meanwhile, opening with the Primal. Primal out on both sides. Toby down early. Big early pick here from New York. Mono, though, able to find Jonak. Both teams down in early support. Flora heading back over in and onto the point. And New York getting real close to a flip here. Friday, though, out. And look at Mono right now. Mono and Hoppa both pretty low and both down. Bianca able to slide on in. Flora falls, but the damage was done. And out the bomb on the point. Fusion are in danger.
I mean, Carpe trying to carry here. He's got the tack visor going, but he doesn't really have the angle. The shields, the defense matrix in the way, and he can't get the damage done. New York into overtime, ready to try to take this map.
Coming back in.
2-0. Philly coming in, and they're getting killed.
Yeah, Mono and Rascal open up. Rascal nearly off the map, but able to get back over and in. Finds Friday off the rebound. Flora shooting off the tack visor, but it might be all for naught.
What
as
is
the
this?
Fusion retake the point at 96%. Is anyone going to be able to touch a point here for New York? They are.
They will.
And here comes the duplicate. This could be big. Feather staying around here. I don't know if the bomb's going to be coming out, but it is buying time for New York. Another wave of New York heading right back in. Here comes the bomb from Feather. Doesn't get anything. What does it do? Jonak's in the fight. Might not be enough. Friday, though, with 2. Friday with 2 on the outskirts, Noah. Surely not. Bianca takes out Toby. Suddenly, New York's right back on in. Could this be map 1? Rascal on the duplicate Primal, trying to say something about it, but it might be too late.
Self-destruct. Ooh, not on the point, though, and that's going to leave New York open for the sad set. It's a big minefield. Yakpung trying to bash his way through it with that Primal Rage, but it's all about Friday. Right now, can he get... Oh, he nearly got the boost, but he didn't quite get it done. And I don't know. That overtime is going to drop fast. New York, they just need to hold it for just a second.
Focusing beam is out. Mono is down. Does Fusion have anything left in the tank as New York has been able to flip a tough situation off Feather's delay?
Are they actually going to flip this back? Oh my goodness. CP. New York does it. They flip it back in overtime. Drops almost immediately. NYXL able to take map 1. But man, that was a brawl.
That was a round 1 for the ages. A map 1 rather, where I mean, it just runs into a prize fight where, both fighters come out and just start swinging haymakers. I mean, yeah, New York won both rounds, but that could not have been more back and forth between both teams. Fights that you thought were won, weren't won. Hero plays came in on both sides.
Seriously.
And what more can you say at the very end there where, two things to note. Feather looking really good on the final delay, and Friday, a player that almost seemingly had nerves, Noah, going back to Melee, where a lot of people looked at Friday and said, well, okay, a lot of underperformance here. Picks off 2 when it's needed most. So if Friday can keep that up, could be a very different New York Excelsior.
That's right. Who knows if it's going to be a 3-0 or a 3-3 going on later in the day. It's going to be insane. It's going to be action-packed, and it's going to be coming right back after a few minutes here. Don't go anywhere. Overwatch League will return in just a few.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile. And by Indeed. We help people get jobs. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League, and by IBM, the official cloud and AI partner of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back to the Overwatch League, everybody. That was an insane first map at New York Excelsior. Barely managed to pull it out with a 2-0 in the end. But ZP, that was a 2-0 map score, or 2-0 round score, I guess, in that map. But it was about as close as it could get, wasn't it?
It really was, and I mean, it had it all where, there's sort of games in Overwatch, Doa, where it's really messy and you go, oh my God, what am I watching? Like, that's where people start talking about, bowls of a certain variety, right? In this case, It was chaotic, it was a little bit messy, but it was the good type. It was people barely getting away for the right reasons. Hero plays coming out at the right times. Both these teams were, in fact, playing pretty well and sort of unsettling each other, but again, in a way where you watch it and you go, wait, this is good Overwatch. Like, this is the good type of messy, and I'm all here for it.
Well, it's like we were saying during that round on Village, where it was like, it really was just a lot of great individual plays that were leading to things being so back and forth. So when you see something like that, you know we're in for a good series. It's going to be fun. New York, obviously, with the lead right now, but still a lot to look forward to. Speaking of things to look forward to, Carpe is just 9 kills away from 5,000 final blows in the Overwatch League. That is an amazing milestone for any player to hit, and he has a very good chance of hitting that in this next map, and almost certainly is going to hit it in this series. If he doesn't get 9 final blows for the rest of the series, then I don't know what to say. Well, but either way, huge milestone for Carpe coming up.
If he doesn't get 9 final blows, we, meaning me and you in the production, have horrifically cursed the Fusion to kick off the June Joust. But also,
Yeah.
good lord, how if he plays every map for here on out, it doesn't get 9 final blows. Like, just how badly would New York have to be stomping the Fusion? Like, so yeah, I generally agree with you. He should be hitting it probably in the next map. If not, then probably the one after. But yeah, that'd be something if he didn't hit it, I suppose.
Yeah, but he almost certainly will, and what a feat to do that as well. I mean, it just shows you not only how consistently he's been good for how long, right? For years and years, Carpe has been putting on an amazing show as a damage player, and so to hit that 5,000 final blow mark is just enormous for any player in the Overwatch League to hit, and he's one of the greats for sure. Someday when we have an Overwatch League Hall of Fame, I'm sure he's going to be in there.
Yeah, but I mean, if nothing else, you got to look at the players that have been around for a long time. It's like, oh, well, the reason why you've been around since Season 1 and, Carpe's case before, turns out you're a really, really good player. And you've maintained that level over a long period of time. Yeah. Can't think of anything else to define excellence, really. But now, Toa, we head into Nimbani.
We are heading to Nimbani, that's right. It is going to be our hybrid map. And you do raise a good point just to close out the Carpe point is that it's not just being in the league for a long time. We have a lot of players that have been in the league for a long time, but it's being in the league for a long time and also performing at that high level. That is what is truly incredible. And, Carpe has been a great player, franchise player for the Philadelphia Fusion, too. He's spent his entire career on this team in the Overwatch League, and he's done well. That said, New York does have the lead, so he's going to need to do a little bit better if he wants to get his team back in this series on Nimbani. And I think they could do it. I think this series could go the distance, ZP, but we'll have to wait and see. We go to the map.
Yeah, it has all the makings of it, where, again, if you look at the round score map, you go, oh, what's going on? New York's dominating. It's like, well, it could have been any closer than it was, where it required some heroics for New York to even close out on the round they did, but yeah, I mean, between both teams, who knows what to expect of his head in Nimbani, where, Nimbani, a map, at points in Overwatch history called the lab for the different compositions you'd see on it, and, different compositions also in a brand new meta here with hero pools, so curious to see what we see from both teams, but we are seeing some trends develop here, Doa, and one of those trends is that teams are playing Echo a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in a land where you basically, what's actually interesting is that with people moving more and more towards the McCree, the Ashe, things that could theoretically shoot that Echo out of the air, that we see more and more of it. But I think it's part of that. I think it's that Zen is off the table. Now there's more Mercy anyway, so you're going to play DPS heroes that pair well with her. But Echo's also just really good. I mean, what can you say? It's just an insane hero.
Yeah, and people have just gotten better and better with Echo as time has gone on, but
yeah,
that is New York on the attack.
Very high with Echo.
Early focusing beam, and New York just gonna poke and prod the high ground here from the side. Fusion not really full committing the repel here, so it is gonna be ground even up to a degree. New York about to turn the corner, looking for it. Mono now, a little bit low, going to heal back up, but Fusion, they're playing this a little bit passively, but still keeping New York back. So at one point, one of the two teams here, Doa, must commit.
That's right. Fusion, they're happy to wait all day, right? They're the ones on defense. Well, they want to use it more time. Oh, Flora with the headshot onto Rascal. That is the go button for New York. Can they take the point off of this, though? They've got the nano onto Yakpunk.
It was really decisive, too. They didn't want to give any opportunity for Resurrection to come in. New York gets the early pickoff and just dives in, Doa. Absolutely no hesitation. And that's what you need to do, especially with the Mercy on the other side. So really well done by New York. And again, who is it that opens it up? It's Flora.
Yep. Flora's been the standout player so far, I would say, from the DPS angles this season on New York Excelsior. And they, they didn't make it to the melee, obviously, but they had so many good maps that it seemed inevitable that they would gain strength over the course of the season. So this is another team that you're going to look at long-term for playoff potential, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, it would fit with New York over the time, even though this is probably New York's greatest test with so much turnover. But 4 minutes, 38 seconds left here in Nimbani second. Very favorable spot for any attacking team here in Nimbani. And it's time for some double monkey here, Doa. Feather already close to the primal. Yakpun's built it up. And it's going to be some carnage here in the back as, well, maybe not so much.
A little bit less carnage now with the sleep dart. Yep, that's right. But it was a whole barrel full of monkeys there for a moment with New York, but they had to back away. Fusion handled that well. Kill on the Bob there. Taken out of commission fairly early. Yakpong gets caught. Oh, but speaking of getting caught, 2 for Bianca's self-destruct.
Yeah, New York still trying to keep in the contest, but Fusion's done a great job of slowing this down here so far. Hoppa finds Feather. And now for Fusion, we'll see how many they can bring back out. The problem is it's so hard for the defenders to keep up pressure. Mono, though, Nano into the back line, looking for a little bit more, chasing down the Mercy. Still, though, under heavy fire, floor fishes him off. And the point presence is just too strong for attackers on point B, though. It's so hard to hold.
I was hoping for that call down met kill for Hot Buy. I was crossing my fingers for him, but he didn't quite get it. Either way, New York just steamrolling that point B. They have got over 5 minutes to take the final point on Nabani here. They're looking pretty good so far, and they've got good tools too.
And a boost.
And a boost on the Feather.
Yeah, Feather. Hopping in immediately, ready to go. Not getting too much off the nano boost, though. In fact, Fusion not even respecting a whole lot. As Fusion go, time for double monkey of our own. Rascal opening up with the primal and just as quickly getting removed from Winston form. Able to get out with his life, though. Not always easy as Echo nowadays.
I like the idea of that, though, using that early primal rage from the Echo just to kind of delay things, just to push back New York a little bit. If you're Philly right now, you're all about buying time, right? But the fight begins again. Feather now on the Echo, or on the Diva rather. Finds the ult right away.
Double Diva. Here comes a bomb built up quick, and everything going the way of New York here. And the Fusion, they have not bought enough time, Doa. This is a part where defense is supposed to hold for way longer, but New York just decisively piercing through off the tank blade. Yakpong still not done. Gets down 2, heading even deeper in. Under 4 minutes now left for New York, but they're nearly where they need to be. And now the Fusion needs some sort of miracle just to reestablish.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
I mean, those
1.
spawn doors are covered, right? The self-destruct there, and now just 2.5 meters to go for New York Excelsior. Can they finish it off?
Well, getting Flora out of the fight early, a good start. The problem is they need more. Hoppa, D-Max, New York still looking to close out. Nano now on the Feather, who ends up getting forced back a bit. New York pedal off the metal to a degree. And this is going to let Fusion reset now, but they lose Rascal, and the pressure, Doa, about to flood right back in.
I mean, we saw what happened last time, right? New York got a pick, they go in, and that's immediately what they do. Sleep dart on the Yakpong, though, but that said, they're getting plenty of kills on the other side. It looks like this is going to be a point taken. It will be. New York with 3:12 on the clock gets it done on Nbani. Pretty solid attack run for them.
This is a crisp-looking New York team right now, Doa, relative to what we saw in the main melee, where what was the common criticism of New York in the main melee? Well, they look at sync, at times it see Yakpong go in, knock out a lot of support. New York right now, they see moments of opportunity and pounce together. One early pickoff, and you just see all of New York immediately head in to deny things like Mercy Res, to simply press the advantage that they already have. It's super well coordinated, and it's not really the New York we saw in the last stage. So, New York almost getting kind of the same bump that we saw from Shanghai in the last series.
I feel like, though, as we check out this replay here, this is a pretty big self-destruct for Bianca grabbing 2 there. But I feel like for New York, there were glimpses of this in the main melee.
Yes.
In their series against Seoul Dynasty, I felt like there were moments where they really looked like everyone was on the same page in the best way. And there were those moments where you're like, okay, this team could be really sick. And the practice has seemingly paid off so far as they got a strong Nbani attack. Can they get the strong Nbani defense, though?
Yeah, that is going to be the question. But I'd say also the biggest parts of improvement here, tank coordination for New York, way better. And Friday appears to be far more comfortable than he really was during parts of the main melee. So the weaker parts of New York seemingly have been shored up here so far. But it is just map 2. We'll see if they can keep it going forward.
That's right. Philadelphia Fusion on the attack here. Compositions that we've started to kind of get used to already here in the June Joust with the Hangzhou and the Echo. Carpe just looking for those early picks. We saw who New York used one that they got. If Carpe can manage to find one, that's the go button for them. That said, his Hangzhou didn't look super great on Lijiang Tower. We'll see how long he sticks with it here.
Yeah, I mean, also you look at here, he hasn't really landed much of anything. Basically no ult built within the first minute here, and Rascal just gets sniped out of the sky, but Carpe comes alive there for a moment. The problem is the resurrection's going to be there. It's not denied on either end. Or
I mean, the tank's
back
down
into
for
fray.
Philly, so they're not going to be able to turn this into a major push. They have to back up and regroup. A couple picks came through, just not at the timing that Philadelphia needed it.
No, and it's still, even with that one pickoff, I mean, Carpe at 40%, it's been slow going, but
Oh, there's one.
that's big. That's finally
The
what
res.
Carpe needed. And that's what you need if you're going to play Hangzhou. You need pickoffs like that, so 6 on 5. The resurrection from Friday should not be up just yet. It should be up pretty soon. I don't know
Soon,
time.
yeah.
Okay, Carpe gets caught. The
Yeah,
equalizer.
Philly just weren't quite ready to follow up on that pick from Carpe immediately. Yakpun, though, gets frozen. That's pretty good. Oh, open up immediately, though, an alarm goes down. Philadelphia Fusion struggling to really capitalize on that pick from Carpe, and they're going to go back to the drawing board once again.
Also, I'll note again, New York, they get an advantage, and you just see the ults fly in, and they just dive down the middle of Nambani, where the response for any sort of advantage from New York has really been something to see.
I would say so. New York has had no hesitation on taking advantage of the little edges they've got. Carpe tries for a sneaky Dragon Blade through the floor. Doesn't get anybody with it, though. Here we go, though.
Dragon
All
strike.
the ultimates coming out now. Feather on the Winston as he stole that away with the Echo. Mono down already, so we do see the Philadelphia Fusion struggling a little bit here on the attack again.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Dragon Strike from Carpe wasn't a bad idea. It forced movement. The problem is it came in as New York was already looking to dive in anyways, so it's sort of, the timing was unfortunate. And now, with a minute 15 left, Carpe, the late swap onto Genji. You know, a little bit questionable in the sense that, will Blade be built up in the final minute? Maybe not, but you know, sometimes you don't need a Blade to be effective as a Genji, and we'll see if this is one of those times.
Yeah, sometimes too you look at Alarm and he's pretty close to the Nano Boost, and you can use the Nano Boost to help a Genji get a really fast blade, so that could be part of the plan. We'll see. Either way, Carpe, I think, kind of going towards a bit of a comfort pick. You got less than a minute. You have to get something going. There's a Nano Boost onto Yakpung, though. Finds a kill into Alarm almost immediately. No Nano Boost for you, Philadelphia, and they are going to get sent back to spawn. Ooh, Hotpa gets one onto Feather, but you're going to need more than that.
Yeah, I mean, the New York is still very happy with how this is going, but maybe not so much anymore. The bomb from Rascal off the duplicate, but there's the res. Floor's going to be back in. Floor does have the bomb. Going to have to use it pretty quickly here as Fusion, they're close to turning in their favor, but not quite close enough, though, especially Flora back into the fray.
Yeah, I don't think it's looking very good for Fusion at all. They decided to push despite losing Alarm early with that Nano Boost, and now they just find themselves with one last desperation attack with less ultimates than they would have had before. That said, they still have Nano, they still have Mono. What can they do?
Well, Carpe is only 42%, so the Nano has to go on the Mono here. Mono looking to set the stage, look for an opportunity. New York, though, diving into the backline as Mono goes onto the front, has the primal low HP, and now you look towards Bianca. Has the bomb ready. It could be the double bomb coming up here. Feather with one. Bianca is the other going to fly. No, not quite yet. Yakpunk out of the fight. Things actually getting a little bit dicier here for New York. Down one player. Hoppa, though. Going to get D-Mech. Flora with the immediate finish, and Bianca's still holding onto the bomb for what could be the finisher.
Yep, that's right. I mean, that's the thing. You need that bomb to force people off the point. Flora gets two, though. Whoa! What is in that dynamite? Well, I guess it's dynamite. Flora gets three, and New York manages to hold. That is a 2-0 lead for them now with a win on Nambani. And I got to say, ZP, New York just looking dominant so far today.
I love that. What's in that dynamite? Yeah, it's dynamite. Pretty self-explanatory.
Dude, it's like 6 a.m., man. I've been up all night.
No, I mean, honestly, it's dynamite. Do you need extra explanation? Well,
dynamite's good enough, I guess.
Well,
Well,
it was off
good enough for NYXL, good enough to get the 2-0 lead. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll see if they can close it out. Don't go anywhere. This is Overwatch League.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles. Stay in the game.
Welcome back to the Overwatch League. ZP, you and I were talking a little bit during the break, and we talked about, you know, Carpe being 9 kills away from 5,000 final blows, and after that map, he is still 7 kills away from reaching that benchmark. And we talked about how improbable, how insane it would be if he couldn't hit it in the rest of the series, but you know, unfortunately, Carpe has not had the greatest day of Overwatch today, and with New York just 1 map win away from closing this out to 3-0, you gotta start to get a little bit worried, don't you?
Yeah, you really do. I think the real problem for Philly is that you're looking at Carpe and go, please, stop playing Super Shimada Brothers. You're stuck on World 1. Just let it go. Yeah. The Genji at the end of just doing nothing really on the Hangzhou was just baffling because you had a minute left to go. You're not going to build up late in that situation in most cases, and I don't know. I think, look, Carpe has had a good Hangzhou in the past at points, right? It's not that he has never played the hero well, but he's not played the hero well right now. Whereas I think if Carpe plays something like the McCree or even an Ashe in the situation, heroes that are historically more what he's been playing in recent times, I think that's going to go a lot better for Carpe. But please, just drop the Shimadas. Just let it go.
Yeah, it's kind of it's World 1-1. He's not quite dying at the first Goomba, but it's like if you hit the block and like the mushroom went off the left side, you can't go back because it's Mario 1s. You miss it, and then you die to like the first Koopa or something like that. First Koopa Troopa, the turtle thing. You know what I'm talking about. It's not good for Carpe either way. That's what I'm saying. He needs to pick it up a little bit here as we go into our 3rd map. And it is alarming for Philadelphia Fusion. You know, they looked so good in the May Melee. They looked promising. New York had flashes of brilliance, but never quite put on a performance quite like that. But ZP, today may be the day for the New York Excelsior to turn over a new leaf, to excel, as it were, in the June Joust. Get things off to a good start.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking very good for New York. And, you know, I think between the two teams, right, is that I think the meta clearly is something New York likes. New York likes playing Winston. They've found really good coordination with it right now in a way that they didn't have in the May Melee. And on the flip side, the Fusion are playing comps that they don't seem very comfortable on. Notably, you know, you've had Carpe on heroes that he hasn't had the same impact on relative to heroes like McCree. So now you take a look at the setup here in Rialto, where it looks like Fusion, where they could still swap, but on the offense, it's looking like they're going to be running Echo McCree. Thank God. I think that this is a much better look for the Fusion than what we've seen so far, because I think Carpe has a fantastic McCree, and it's something he's played well on recently. So I think this is what Fusion have to play on right now.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, the hit scan has looked better for Carpe. You got to lean into that a little bit, I think, at this point. And we'll see what they can do. Rascal with the last-minute swap over to the Reaper. Interesting adaptation. We'll see if he decides to stick with that for now. Might try going for a sneaky teleport flank here. Brigida for Toby as well.
Yeah, I mean,
watch out for those knockouts.
Puts a lot of pressure on Rascal's game sense here. It also sort of concedes the sky a bit to Feather, at least to the degree that, you know, it's mostly Carpe just going to be shooting back, but there's no secondary threat. But this is still very workable for the Fusion. It's just about where is Rascal going to be, right place, right time, or no?
Totally. I mean, you're pushing a payload. You need to say, you can say to the heroes in the sky, hey, come down to us. You know, you can't stop the payload from up there, right? So I think that's kind of the philosophy Philly's going with. They're just trying to be the battering ram here, and so far they've managed to push that payload a little bit, take the high ground, and back up and keep that payload moving.
New York, though, they don't really take too much damage in return. They just see a bad situation developing and back out. So, I mean, it's a pretty good disengage from New York at the same time, and now re-engaging, forcing the Fusion back as Flora strikes again, gets Rascal early, and this is where New York, they're going to feel it better. This is where New York has just been pushing the issue anytime they get an early pick go up.
Yeah. I mean, they've been so decisive in terms of turning those early picks into early successful pushes, and they do push Philadelphia Fusion right back and stop that payload again.
Yeah, now Rascal's going to be back into the fray, so it's back up to 6v6. Jonak, though, has built up Nano, same for Alarm, so probably going to be seeing Nano Winston be Nano Winston here if I had to guess.
About now? About now? There we go. Okay, Nano Winston going in. Over to the high ground on the other side. What's he going to do with it? Feather comes in. Oh, Feather with the Diva on that Echo.
Flora again.
Mono down already. Flora is a stone cold killer.
Yeah, And the scary thing for Flora is that he's getting back up in the June Joust here that he was not getting in the May Melee, which makes Flora look even deadlier. Yeah. Definitely the superstar of New York so far, and I mean the Fusion though, they're already down half their time, and this has not really moved at all.
Yeah, the payload is still stuck around the second corner of the map. Now finally inching forward here. New York giving a little bit more ground, but it is alarming. There's Hotba getting DMEC too. That is not what you want to see. There's Hotba getting taken out as Jonak grabs the kill for himself.
Yeah, and I mean, the issue for the Fusion, they're just stuck. They're trying to go through the high ground of this building, and it's just no entry. The New York Excelsior acting as bouncers now. Can they deny the runs?
All right,
Carpe
here's an opportunity.
Takes down Flora. Yeah, and look at the pressure on Submersive. They're going, no, you will not bring Flora back into the fight. That's it. He's down. Really good pressure from Mono to secure the elimination there and give the Fusion their way out of that building finally.
Yep. Just still chasing the tanks. Nice chase by Hotba to finish off Yakpung. That's going to secure the point A. Possibly, probably. I don't think New York's going to want to contest that again. Yeah, Mono's going to dive in just to try to insert that.
I don't know if the Club McCree is the way the contest point A here, but they do get Hotba down. So they're going to be able to touch 1 meter.
Nice
they got their time! 0.02 meters. Zappa comes back, but to what end, though? It did not matter at all.
I thought for a second there New York was going to be able to stop it again, but that's not the case. Instead, Philly just goes ahead and gets a team fight win again and gets an early start on pushing this payload. So maybe a fight that New York should have let go. They nearly had it, though. Hard to argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, also New York, they've been playing so confidently. Eventually it had to bite them to a degree. And yeah, they went for it there. It's like, they've stopped it for 2 seconds before it got the point anyways.
Very true. But here we go. Now the high ground once again seized by the Philadelphia Fusion. 2 minutes and 35 seconds or so on the clock to try to push this payload.
It's good progress here so far. New York still taking some time to reestablish. Jonak, though, holding on to the Nano. Where's it going to go? Probably on the Yakpung in all of 2 seconds. I'm not going to time it like you do. I'm going to feel it out here. But it's going to be soon.
It should be. This is the corner that the defenses choose to defend in most cases here. Electric Cowboy as Carpe gets a nano boost. That's 2 with the Deadeye. That is huge. Carpe coming alive on the Cowboy now. Getting close to those final blows. That's 3 right there. That's 4. He might have already done it. We'll get an update for production soon, but that's big.
This is why you put Carpe on the Cowboy. That right there. Yeah. Also, incredible shot call from the Fusion to go, wait, we can drop nano on things other than tanks. Electric Cowboy, kind of a good idea.
Pretty much. Carpe still 2 kills away from that 5,000 mark. We're watching that one closely as the payload continues to go, rolling through point B and onward to the end. 3 minutes for Philadelphia to continue to push this one.
Fusion, pretty good time on Rialto here so far to boot. New York, of course, packing some good ultimates here for this next fight. Probably not the easiest fight for the Fusion to win, but they're going to go for it. They drop the rally early. Mono in danger. Low HP, bionated and down. Absolute overkill onto Mono. And now Flora. Pretty good spot as Yakpung just makes some space.
True enough. Oh, Flora. Not afraid to fight any of those 1v1s, especially with the Reaper. No, why wouldn't he be? So New York manages to get the stall. Yeah. The question is, can Philadelphia find a way to continue shoving this one forward?
Well, they've had good momentum so far, and they're about to have it again. Nano ready to go. A lot of options for Fusion as they move forward here. And Hoppa decides, let's kick it off with a bang. Bomb to the back, gets Flora on the threat. Gone immediately. And even the res comes in here. That's such a good start for the Fusion that it's going to be so hard for New York to even try and turn this, and that is decisive, Doa. Hoppa does it again.
Carpe denied his 5,000th kill there. He was doing a lot of the damage, but Rascal stole a bunch of them away. But Carpe rolls into this final fight at 4,999. Career milestone possibly coming in. We'll see if they even need another kill here. That payload is nearly there. Carpe with the Deadeye.
Is it Deadeye?
Can he get even just one? No, not quite.
We got to keep Carpe motivated, and one final blow, surely it happens now. As Fusion fans are like, please stop saying it, stop saying it. And he's down.
I know, right?
It's not happening yet. It's Flora. Flora denies it for this push now as New York explode out of the gates. And Fusion just scream at us going, please stop talking about the final blow. Just let it go.
I guess so. Yep, that's right. New York stops him cold. Feather looking for somebody to drop that mech down on. He's going to just swap back to Echo in a moment. Now less than a minute remaining. Philadelphia Fusion actually have a little bit of a risk here. They might get held. That said, they have a lot of ultimates coming into this next push. It's do or die. But I think they could do.
Yeah, it's looking far more on the do column. I mean, New York, they need Flora to get some sort of crazy early pickup, or Yakpung to quick build primal and do something unexpected. But the deck is completely stacked in favor of the Fusion here. Multiple different ways to win this fight. And for
20 seconds remaining,
to get the 5,000 final blow.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it right now. Rascal coming in, looking to make everyone die with the Death Blossom. Has to deal with that defense matrix first. It's out of the way. Flora. Ooh, Jonak gets caught. Down. Big. Die. And he gets a couple of the Philadelphia Fusion. Pushes forward.
There.
Carpe gets Jonak. That's it. The 5,000th kill for Carpe as they get ready to push this one across the finish line. If they can, they will do just that. Philadelphia Fusion push the payload through in overtime, and Carpe claims his 5,000th career final blow. Big round for the Philadelphia Fusion.
I love those against Jonak too, just because, like, of all players to get it on another player that's been around since Season 1, another player that will likely be around the Overwatch League for seasons yet to come, getting on the Jonak, that's just poetic. I actually think that's great.
Couldn't have said it better myself, ZP. You're absolutely right, man. I mean, like, that's, if you're going to get that milestone kill, might as well get it on one of the other best players of all time in Overwatch. Checking out this Electric Cowboy, Carpe. This was an earlier play, and one of the ones that set Philly up for rolling through point B. Hey, put him on the hit scan. I'm on fire. And indeed, he will be on fire.
I just, after seeing that, after seeing Fusion look like a different team, putting Carpe onto a hero that he's been very good at in recent times, please don't put the man onto Hangzhou or Genji for the rest of the match. Like, go back to drawing board, go to the lab for a little bit, find whatever arrow shots you were lacking at the Hangzhou. Just don't do it in this series. Stick with what's working. By your side, man.
Yeah.
You always wear a charm.
Yep. I mean, it's appropriate. Carpe getting that big kill, 5,000th final blow on a hero like McCree, another hero that he was one of the early players to do really well on. And now they're on the defense, trying to get back into the series. Remember, despite a positive moment for the Philadelphia Fusion there with Carpe's 5,000 final blow, they still are down 0-2 in this series. They still need to win this map to keep this match going.
Yeah, and also, too, they didn't finish with 8 time remaining, so New York can still set a quicker time, set themselves up better for extra rounds. But, of course, for New York, good problems to have. First off, you got to get through point A. But the pressure here for both sides pretty unrelenting. Mono and Hoppa both very, very low, Doa. As it starts off, Mono's got to back out. But while Mono's backing out, New York getting progress all the while. Now we'll see how this next turn goes.
Yeah, taking their turn going through the house here to try to push the enemy team off of the high ground. That's kind of what you end up doing. A lot of cases on this map. Carpe in position for that flashbang. Flora there trying to utilize that, though. Oh, he's
Flora
down.
Yeah. Carpe and Mono find the right engage. And with Yakpung and Flora both out of the fight early, that's kind of the heart and soul of the New York attack audience. Friday finds himself on the wrong side here, I'd say. Immediately cleaned up. So a very good start for the Fusion.
All right. Good start on the defense for Philadelphia Fusion. New York, though, they're coming up on a lot of ultimates. So if New York pushes this one a little bit more cautiously, they're going to be in a great position to decisively win a team fight and maybe just finish the point like that. You can see they're approaching this pretty methodically right now.
Very methodically, and also very much on the side. The game set from Flora. What in the world? Rascals is like, wait, what do you mean? God, he was ready for me. Rascal still gets away with his life, but oh boy.
That spidey sense was tingling.
That was a jump scare for Rascal. It was supposed to be a jump scare for Flora.
Seriously.
Echo, Feather on the hot pursuit. Oh! Carpe's still alive. Feather. Okay,
not anymore.
Feather finishes him off. Just barely.
Yeah, now New York getting a win here. They should be able to keep this payload moving. soon as they finish up the stragglers here, it looks like Bianca's going to get demeched and then de-lifed. And staggered a little bit, but that's going to be the payload moving. That said, it took long enough to get those stagger kills, ZP, the final ones in that fight, that New York might have a chance to jump back on this again. Or Philly might, rather. It looks like,
we'll see if
New
they want
York's
to
trying to prevent that.
Yeah, Rascal not have the greatest luck off the teleport there. Immediately caught out.
Oh,
Self-destruct from Bianca to the back, gets alarm. Perhaps no bigger pick. Deadeye from Carpe not connecting, and that should be point A.
That was like the ultimate high noon showdown there. Both McCreeds using Deadeye at the same time. But Flora the one, I think, ending up getting the kill in.
Flora's nuts.
New York.
I love watching Flora play so far. Just so deadly. And against Carpe and McCree versus McCree, what more can you ask for right now, Dylan? It's really cool to watch.
I mean, Flora is definitely one of the rising hit scan stars in the Overwatch League at this point.
Get ready.
And he's been looking better in every match I've been watching him in, it feels like.
Yeah,
and as he rises, New York is elevated as well.
That's true. Fusion, though, gonna look to downsize on this a little bit, slow down the momentum. Another though, really nice zoning here as New York keep the payload moving, stop Fusion from just jumping right on down, and Flora still maintaining his position over here while getting boosted, no less.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like, now that Jonak can't play the Zenyatta, apparently all the boostings are going to go over to Flora. It makes sense. Feather, meanwhile, copies the D.Va.
Bad copy.
Self-destruct. That was close.
3 seconds away from having it. Flora, meanwhile, close to Deadeye. Rascal going in on the flank again. Rascal finding himself having to back out. Oh, maybe not that way. Self-destruct going off. Feather catches Mono, who really had very few places to go as the bomb was on the way. Flora, Deadeye, waiting.
You know, I got to point out Bianca, too, really doing a good job of being in a place to protect his support, to protect Flora as well, having those defense matrices in the right place at the right time. Flora gets a kill and alarm. New York continues to push. Looks like this might be point B.
Rascal coming on in, and again, under so much heavy pressure, 22 HP, has the Death Blossom, ready to go, but take it down. And, you know, we talked a lot about Carpe. Fair game here. Rascal is having a real tough time making any of this work. They're just, it's almost like New York has eyes in the back of their head as to where Rascal's coming from.
Yeah, as far as this map goes, especially, they have really known all those Reaper angles before they happen. You know, they're like the Reaper Whisperer.
I know you have Death Blossom, but man, at some point, maybe go Echo McCree versus Echo McCree. I don't think the Reaper's been working at all here, Noah.
I agree, and I also agree that he might be sticking on this a little bit too long because of that ultimate being available. And sure, it's a great ultimate, but you know, it might as well be no ultimate if you don't use it. That said, on this final point, the Death Blossom can get some extra value because things are a little bit more close quarters. So, you know, he still has a chance to make it count.
Meanwhile, New York looking to pull off what many people would see as an upset to take down the Fusion here. Now Feather, self-destruct off the duplicate into the center. Just going to be forcing them back, but now Flora looking to take advantage of the space just created. Deadeye, good to go. So we go for the flank here for now. Just playing the angle. The payload continuing to move forward.
Yep. Basically, that self-destruct is paving the way for New York to push forward. That says Philadelphia is going to go on their own attack, but Rascal gets slept. Are you kidding me? Carpe down after receiving the nano boost. Yeah, not like this. And here's Flora with a bit more successful than Deadeye. Takes out Mono, and New York looking really good coming in this last point. Woo. Old school.
And that hammer. You earned it. Rascal, though, finally a little bit of revenge. This time not seen from a mile away, but a minute 50 left. New York. A lot of time. Rascal, though, making the Reaper work in close quarters. Finally, again, paying a little bit dividends after a rough start for a while.
Still holding on to that Death Blossom, though.
It may never bloom. You never know.
Yep. He just needs to not get flashbanged. That's kind of the big thing.
Well, now you've just caused it.
I know, right? But I gotta say it. That's what you gotta keep in mind. I mean, if you're dropping onto that McCree, if you're dropping on the back line, you need to make sure you're keeping an eye on that flashbang cooldown.
Very, very true. But 1 minute left here for New York as they look to force us into extra rounds. Trying to do it with a little bit of extra time to boot. Duplicate again onto the D.Va. It's double D.Va for New York as they look to head in. Fusion just holding back. you
I mean, it's so
deserve for
smart to go
themselves.
double diva, actually. You do get the self-destruct, which is big. Floor finds a big kill on Toby, but you also get double defense matrix. You make it even harder for Rascal to make a play on that Reaper with the Death Blossom. It's so smart. There it is. He finally goes for it, but Jonak is ready to add on to the damage and get the kill. All of that. He saved it for so long and got nothing.
Yep, as expected. I don't think there's going to be a swap, though. It's a little bit too late for that fusion, though. Still the ability to delay a little bit long. New York does not have it just yet, but Yakpong holding on the Primal in reserve. Carpe, oh, this is ambitious. Looking for the Dead Eye here. No, nothing but D-Matrix. Floor, though, down to the back. Is Resurrection going to be there? New York can't keep up pressure on the point. Only 24 seconds left remaining. Rascal looking for Yakpong. Yakpong's down. He doesn't Primal in time. Carpe with 2 on the other end. And New York, they might have waited too long to commit, Doa.
Might be. Philly with a real chance here to win this map and keep themselves alive in this series. They just need to close out this defense to do it. 7 seconds, 6 seconds. New York, can they even get back to the point right now?
Yakpong's ready. Has to Primal just for the second. Oh,
he gets spooked away. Oh, the whip shot
great whip
from
shot.
the Brigida. Oh, that was huge. Wow, major props to Toby, the hero in the end, getting the whip shot on that Brigida to knock the Winston away, to prevent the overtime in Philly with a well-earned win here, map win, to keep the series going. How about that Carpe, though?
I love the play back there. It's just like, you know, the Overwatch League, you're asked to play many roles. How about playing goalie, where you just reject the flying monkey trying to touch the payload? Great stuff.
Yeah. A little bit of Lucio ball thrown in the end there. Great series we've got going here. Philadelphia Fusion, their hopes alive as they get the map win. Still down a game to New York, but don't go anywhere. This one's only going to keep getting more exciting. There we go. I got the sentence out eventually. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back to the Overwatch League. Philadelphia Fusion keeping their hopes alive to win this series with a win on that last map on Rialto. ZP, do you think we saw what they needed to show to win this series?
Yes, as it turns out, Carpe Cowboy good, Carpe on Shimada bad.
Yeah,
very simple though. It's magical even.
Who knew? Right, Carpe getting his 5,000th final blow on that map, but also a big part of his team getting the win as well and keeping the series going is a good reason to, keep him close to that hit scanner. So we're not saying he can't play the Genji and the Hangzhou. Obviously he can. He's had amazing performances on those heroes in the past. It just feels like for whatever reason today, ZP, those heroes are just not agreeing with him for some reason.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, again, that's a totally fine take. You go, hey, you've played this well in the past. Just don't do it today. We've seen your offerings here today. They're wanting. Just click heads with the Cowboy and all will be fine. Because Philly looked so much better with Carpe on the McCree, and even though a lot of that was kind of Reaper holding on, or Rascal as Reaper holding on to Ultimate forever and kind of getting found out, you know what?
Yeah.
It was a distraction. Carpe still made use of it, so, you know, whatever
I mean, it
works.
was, yeah. I mean, and I thought New York played into it well, you know, and they did mitigate the Reaper quite a bit, but at the end of the day, you know, they just couldn't mitigate everything else. And again, you have to call back to Toby at the very end on the Brigida, getting that whip shot on the leaping Winston.
Yes.
Like, that's not the easiest whip shot in the world to hit, too. Like, you got to be pretty accurate with that to hit a monkey flying through the air. He's a big monkey. He's a very large scientist, but still, like, it takes a lot of skill to hit that. So props to Toby for kind of saving the day and being one of those great main support players that we've seen him be for so many years now.
Yeah, I mean, there was a team effort there where it's like he got sort of jammed a little bit further out and then had to use Primal to get the extra leap to go in. You're like, surely he has it. And then poof, just booped out. And, you know, Toby already a player with a reputation for being a bit of a boop god to begin with. So, you know, it's just another highlight to the real Doa.
More boops for the boop god, as they say. Now, usually those result in environmental kills, but this time it resulted in a map win. So I think that's perfectly fine as well. We're waiting for the players to get situated in the map. I'm looking at the rosters here to see if there are any swaps. It doesn't look like there are, so we're just waiting to get things started here on Volskaya Industries on our assault map. See if New York can close things out, or if Philadelphia Fusion will tie up the series. We said it going into this one, ZP. This is one that you feel like could go to a map 5.
Yeah, well, also you feel that anytime you watch the Fusion play historically because, you know, the Fusion, for whatever reason, not just the Fusion proper, but also when they had a contenders team, they just love map 5. There's like some mystical force going, yes, you're watching the Fusion, but even if they're the favorite, or even if they're not a favorite at all and likely to lose, what if you went to map 5 no matter what? That's just the weird karmic nature surrounding the team where, could this series go to map 5? Entirely possible. Could be a reverse sweep. Fusion are definitely a good enough team to do it, even though New York has looked very good thus far.
Well, you got to get Carpe those 5,000 final blows somehow, and to go into a lot of map 5s certainly helps, doesn't it?
Yep.
Look at that, he's invisible now. I thought Sombra wasn't allowed. Oh, there. Okay, he's back. All right. It's confused there for me.
I know it's 2 CP Carpe. I know that singular picks are good. I know Dragon Blade is good, but I'm going to have an aneurysm if I see that show either Genji or Hanzo. I'm just saying it right now.
Don't make me solo cast, man. Don't do that to me.
Well, you know, it's also tradition. Like, not even for me to have something. It's like usually something out of my control. But yeah, that's good.
I'll take the Ash.
I'm good with the Ash. Yeah, that's fine.
And I think after that last map too, the coaching staff is probably saying, "Hey, why don't you stick with the hits again for this?" I mean, who knows what they had planned? We don't know what they had planned coming into this one as far as Carpe playing heroes. It would seem that the intent was to have him play Hanzo and maybe the Genji early on. But the change coming in now, and who knows, maybe the change was supposed to happen at this point anyway. But either way, he looked much better on the McCree on Rialto, and carrying that through to swap to the Ashe here on Volskaya as Philly gets ready on the defense. But here comes New York on the attack.
Well, I also like the Ashe here too because it also provides an even bigger threat to Flora, where hit scan v hit scan. You know, at certain ranges, the Ashe does have a pretty big advantage over the McCree. So, you know, if Carpe's playing longer ranges and focusing on Flora, it gives Flora way less space than Flora's had all series long. So, I think it's a good idea, but we'll see if the execution is there. As already New York trying to dive on in, and they've already secured a little bit of space here, Noah.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be able to at least make it through that initial choke point and get situated behind the point like this. Good start for New York so far, positioning-wise. They got to keep Yakpeng alive, though, getting a little bit low. But just in true New York style, they are approaching cautiously, true New York Excelsior style.
Carpe's doing a lot of damage so far, already at 60% ult charge. New York, though, they've built a nano already, and Yakpeng just gets to walk forward. However, can't walk forward to finish that kill. Now a little bit more space being created, but the nano is over. The threat just about gone, and Alarm gets a nano his own. Mono charged up, good to go. Now we'll see if the Fusion can take advantage. Mono, though, under really heavy pressure, has to back out. And somehow we've gone through 2 nanos, and everyone's still alive, though. Everyone's still alive.
I know, both teams did such a great job of collapsing backwards and making it just too dangerous for the Winston to keep up with the push. Both teams reacting to the same situation the same way and the right way.
It does work out better for Fusion, though, given that they're trying to burn time off the clock. It's time burns off the clock. But now Feather in on the side, focusing beam. Oh, lose the line of sight for the last second. Hop on, meanwhile, bomb out, doesn't get anything. No.
Not quite.
At 80%.
Whoever gets this first Echo ult might have a bit of an edge there. That could be big. Flora, protected from a bunch of that damage. Mono done already, though, so here's New York's chance. They don't find anything.
Wait, they're going for the res. They're looking for it. Okay, Toby's down.
Yep.
That's about what New York needed to do there, and now can they push the advantage? They certainly have one here. Rascal, though, duplicate the deep in the back. Alarm is down, and surely you'd think that'd be a duplicate or no. Rascal, though, what's the bomb going to be? Not too big.
Yep, he does manage to get back in the mech again. Hotba, though, a little bit low. There goes Rascal. New York still with a chance here as Mono and Hotba both fall. Well, the mech, at least, that's good enough anyway. And New York looks like they finally found the go-ahead kills to take the point.
Still a really good defense for Fusion. I mean, look, both teams looked impressive with their disengages where, how often do you see nanos get traded with no one being down? But at the end of it, those sorts of trades, Doa, good for Fusion. Bought time off the clock, little over 4 minutes now left for New York to go to point B, so defensible for Philly.
So here's the danger now for Philadelphia Fusion, is that they really only have the Primal Rage, whereas we've got the Self-Destruct and the Echo Ultimate and a couple other things coming online fairly soon for New York Excelsior. So a solid push could give them a very good time if they're able to turn that into a point B take. There's Feather, slept immediately though.
Yep, you turn into Winston, immediately take a nap, duplicating in more ways than one, I suppose. Flora, dead-eye from the back. New York trying to press the advantage here because they do have an advantage right here now, Doa. And they get Carpe down immediately. Hoppa demect. A 6-on-4 edge right now for New York. Yakpug doesn't risk it. Goes for the primal play. He gets slept. It just the res right over and bring Carpe back into the fight. However, 2 ticks are gone. The Fusion are not out of the hot seat here just yet. Rascal low. Gets healed back out. Mono ends up falling. He went on to point to buy a little bit of time. And now Hoppa. The bomb gets Feather.
Ooh. That's huge. Carpe down though. Flora and Friday coming back. Feather rezzed again. And they still have Yakpung on the point. Can they push forward? I don't know. Looks like they have to back away. So the big thing for New York there is that they were able to get 2 ticks because they were able to force Mono to use his Primal Rage away from the point. They put him back in the room on the side, and while they handled that, they were able to get a lot of that point taken.
The interesting part here, though, is New York, like, they backed out, but they haven't fully backed out. They've still been keeping this aura of pressure here, so Fusion haven't been able to get a fully reset defense in all this. Rascal, under the pressure, falls. Feather, able to bind him. I think it was Feather and Flora both connecting. And here's the Bionade goes to the back. The heals were there. Flora slept. Alarm trying to do everything to keep Fusion in this fight, but guess what? Alarm is gone. But so is Feather,
though.
Yeah,
and Friday.
Not bad for Fusion.
New York only needs 1 tick, but I don't think they're going to get it here. So
really nice to come back there, but a lot of that was Alarm between the sleep dart and the Bionade to slow things up. Still really good for Fusion.
Mono sends Jonak back to spawn with a sharp blow to the back of the head via the monkey, or scientist, gorilla, whatever you want to call it. Winston.
He who eats peanut butter. I don't know. Pick a trade to go with.
Inspirational fellow, either way.
Yeah.
Well, Feather has the ultimate, but so does Rascal here, so.
Well, not when he's gone. Not when he's out of the fight immediately. Hard to press Q if you're dead. And now Feather.
When you're dead, you got nothing. You got no buttons.
Well, it's 6-on-5, and now Flora. Look at the cracked shield. Now look at the cracked Mono. Just cracked right open. Deadeye from Carpe. Over to the side, gets Yakpung.
True enough, but we do have a raging Feather on the point. With that Winston ultimate for just a moment, they're trying to threaten. They're taking it again. Carpe looking for the flank. Looking for someone to come for the health back that he wants to just take out, but no one is coming. Flank from the side.
Well, guess what? Floor sees him. That's not a sneaky flank at all. And now here comes the Deadeye. New York, they have to make a move onto the point. They're going to do it right now. Moving on over. Feather into the back. Gets Alarm. Not going to be a threat anymore. Nano still on the Echo. Focusing beam. Heavy damage from Feather. Still floating around. And Doa, this might be it. The Fusion are in danger.
Yep, looks like it is. They only need that 1 pick, and with Feather finishing off the finishing off alarm rather in the background. Looks like it might have it. That's a good delay from Hotba. Another Diva comes in as Feather manages to get the copy as well. Only need just a little bit more percentage. Self-destruct is going to try to give it to him. They get it. So 32 seconds remaining. They do manage to finish ZP with some time in the time bank.
Yeah, which is, of course, important on Volsky, because anytime you finish in overtime, then you have the looming threat of, ooh, if they finish with a minute and 1 second, we don't get another attack. Never a good feeling. Doesn't matter what level of play you are playing at. It's one of the dark sides of 2CP, I suppose. But they don't have to worry about that, though, because they did finish with time.
Indeed. So now the tables turn. Philadelphia Fusion going to be on the attack. New York on the defense. And a chance for New York once more to win this series, or for Philadelphia Fusion to tie it up and send us to a map 5.
Again, that would be the Philly special, wouldn't it? Another map 5, because
really would.
It just what Philly does. But they probably do it more so where they put Carpe on not Carpe Heroes for 2 maps, I suppose. And they've gotten away from that, though, so it's far more competitive.
It is. It is competitive. New York, though, still looking good, looking unfazed by the swap from Carpe, despite it working out a little bit better. Rascal seems to really, really love this Reaper right now, though. Interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, in a way, the Reaper is almost like, it's easy to look at it and go like, he's been feeding on the Reaper. He has been commanding a lot of attention. Like,
yeah,
there is something to be said for that, where, yeah, he's smothered every time he shows up, but it also means people are looking for Rascal pretty heavily and respecting his threat.
I mean, Reaper's always been a pretty good answer to Winston historically in Overwatch. Does pretty well into the Diva, in that as soon as the defense matrix is down, you can put a lot of damage into those tanks. So it's never a pick you're going to say is the wrong choice in this situation. Certainly useful.
Yeah. And now Fusion.
Carpe back on the McCree, though.
Well, again, this is what he's looked good on recently. So he's looked good on today. And, gonna get the finish onto the Diva. Yeah.
A good chase to D-Mech Bianca. Hotba, though, also gets D-Mech. So both Divas, sans mechanical suit. Or the sans HP he gets sent back to spawn. Yeah, good start from Flora here. Ooh, really nice hit from Bianca as well. Yep.
Rascal out of it, and that's a Carpe getting Feather. Both McCrees finding their moments. New York's still in a little bit of a better spot, but the problem is they are in defense. The respawns are going to be coming a little bit later, and Mono looks to push the edge, gets Nano Boost, and is down. Pushed a little bit too far, Noah.
I feel like they still didn't have a few people back from spawn yet to make that push, but they thought they had an opportunity with the Nano Boost to maybe get a couple quick kills and equalize it. Didn't end up working out that way. It seemed like New York was really ready for Mono to come in.
And Carpe out of it. And yeah, Philly looking a little bit discombobulated here, where I think he mentioned off the staggers, they weren't at full, and New York again pouncing on those mistakes, and already a minute and a half off the clock in New York at a very equal spot ult-wise to Fusion, so there's no easy way in right now for Philly.
Exactly. New York has taken a lot of time off the time bank. Rascal trying to do a little bit of a flank. And again, like a big part of this is trying to put damage into the tanks. It's kind of what the Reaper is looking for. That's right. Feather copies the McCree. I don't know. All right, finds the Deadeye anyway. It's all about buying time, though. It's just zones.
It does.
Yeah.
Not generally the highest impact copy, but as you said, buys time.
You know, those Echo ultimates, you know, they can be more legit zoning ultimates. Mono takes a lot of damage here from those sticky bombs from the Echo. Now we got the Electric Cowboy on the New York side.
Yeah, the focus fire on the tanks has been insane from New York, and Mono's been bearing the brunt of it. Hoppa, though, taking a snooze. Nano Boost. For Alarm, Rascal's down. Floor, though, down in turn. 5-on-5. Carpe gonna have room to work with here. The Deadeye to the sleeping Winston. Good night. In more ways than one. Friday, though, firing back, gets Flora back into the fray. And now Carpe just sitting here going like, surely someone's gonna walk by. Uh-oh. What now?
He hears them. He hears them. Knows they're up there.
Well, now Carpe just waits going, I sure hope no one knows I'm here. I'm just going to mosey around here.
Sneaky cowboy.
Oh, no. Did Winston see him?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Well, goodbye.
That was a
walking shame there for a moment.
It really was. All right, Feather with the Echo ultimate.
This is good value off that heavy disruption from the duplicated Winston. And of course, you don't have your McCree there because Carpe's attempted subterfuge got found. So 30 seconds left. This
remaining.
could be it, Doa.
It certainly could be. Philadelphia has only managed to get one tick on the point so far. It is do or die for them. They have a couple ultimates, but so do Jonak and Flora. That is an electric cowboy in the making. And up on the high ground, it could be a problem. Ooh, New York getting aggressive. They're not going to wait. They're just going to go for it. I don't think Philly was expecting this.
No, that was a very aggro shot call for the defense, but it works out. Carpe's out of play immediately. Rascal in danger. The ball from Buffalo catches Friday. Held the phone. Now Rascal
this is
was
dangerous.
No. They didn't get the point.
Oh, he couldn't get on there. That's
You gotta be kidding me.
It ends like that. Reaper couldn't get to the point in time, and New York wins the map and the series. I did not expect it to end like that, ZP. Whoa.
Well, as is tradition, my pick'ems are wrecked. You know.
I picked Philly too, I admit. New York proving us wrong, though, getting that 3-1 victory over Philadelphia Fusion. They are out of their chairs with joy, except for Yakbang just staring into space. Yep, there you go. Wow. I was not expecting the series to end like that. It really looked like maybe New York had overstepped. That aggressive defensive move they made right at the very end was certainly a tricky play. Certainly caught Philly off guard, but that nearly went the other way, ZP.
Yeah, I mean, we saw New York here today. I think that is the takeaway you have to have here, is that New York looked decisive. Their coordination was at a level it simply was not during the May Melee, and Fusion was the first unfortunate team to have to deal with what is a brand new Excelsior team that is seemingly operating on all cylinders and not just, hey, we're New York and Flora's pretty good sometimes, but the rest of it, who knows? No, that's gone.
Seriously.
We're New York and everyone's playing well. Good luck.
Yeah. I really loved watching New York today. I feel like everything that we saw, those little flashes of brilliance, everything kind of coalesced in this match. And around Flora, mostly, is where that did coalesce. In fact, Flora is going to be our player of the match. Very well deserved. He played so well on the Hit Scan Heroes. Really kind of one of those rising stars in this league. Check it out. Like, if it has Hit Scan, he was dominating on it today, ZB.
Yeah, Flora played out of his mind, but it's kind of those things where it's like, it's almost a shame you can only give one player the match here. I think Yakpung looked way better. I think Feather was a dominant force on the Echo, where constantly getting high-value duplicates, creating a lot of space. And you look at the comparison versus Fusion, where Fusion was running with the McCree Reaper a whole lot. You know, you saw the pain point of not running an Echo of their own, where, I mean, Rascal could run it. They go ban Reaper. But yeah, I don't know. But honestly, across the board, really good play from New York, and Flora was standout as always.
Yeah, I want to shout out Bianca as well. I think he played a really good defensive diva, kept Flora safe, kept Jonak safe as well, but check out Flora. 38,000 damage on the McCree versus Fusion today, and just doing great. 32 final blows. That's going to get him towards that 5,000 count quite a bit.
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
But yeah, I think for New York fans, Bay Melee was very disappointing in a way, going, oh, I guess this is our team now. You know, all the rumors about New York being really good, I don't know, they didn't really pan out, and suddenly, you know, a different hero meta, a little bit of a break, and New York looks like a completely different team, and they've put the rest of APAC on notice.
Yeah, that's right. I was a little bit worried about Jonak not getting access to that Zenyatta. We know he's a fantastic Ana player as well, but I love just seeing him on his marquee hero, but still performed perfectly fine. But we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, though, because a bit more. Oh, no break. My bad. No break. So that's right. Well, actually, let's talk about our bold predictions for the Pringles. My not so bold prediction is that I guess my bold prediction was that there was going to be a break. That ended up being false. What's your bold prediction, CP?
Well, you just stole my line from my bell. I was going to be cheeky and go, well, my bold prediction is that we weren't going to take a break. Well, now what? Now I
see. I got out ahead of you on that one, man.
Yeah. You know, my bold prediction is that the mind meld is just taking place because we've been at this a long time. It's out of our sleep schedule where it normally is, and yeah, we saw good Overwatch on top of it, so I'm happy for that. That's not really much of a prediction, but yeah, we're already off script here anyway. So
my bold prediction is New York will win the June Joust.
What about Seoul? Wait,
that was my last bold prediction. I can make multiple bold predictions.
Yeah, you can have bold predictions that contradict each other. All right, you know what?
There's no rules here, ZP. In the universe of the boldness that Pringles brings, anything is possible.
Yeah, like having 2 winners of the June Joust, because why not?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yep, everyone's a champion. That actually, everyone's a hero. Who got to be careful in this game. It was a fun day of matches, ZP. What more can you say? It's do you have any final thoughts here?
Final thoughts right now. I think the June Joust is looking to be very exciting. We saw the Dragons come back in what could be championship form, and suddenly New York, a team that people are low on. Well, you got to respect them. They look far better now than they did before, and I just can't wait to see what the rest of the teams have to show us as the Joust rolls forward.
Yep, that's right. And good news for everyone out there. This is only the second day of the, really kind of the end of the first day, sort of, depending on, it's sort of end of the first day, beginning of the second day. I don't know. We got the region thing going on. Either way, there's a lot more Overwatch League coming this weekend, so don't worry. We'll be back tomorrow with another series, and there's going to be a lot more coming up in just, 5 hours from now, NA starts off. So lots of Overwatch to watch. I'm going to wake up for that, of course. That said, thanks for watching, everybody. That's going to do it for ZP and us for the APAC part of the broadcast here. We'll see you soon. Stay safe. Take care. Enjoy a couple games Overwatch in the meantime. We'll see you soon.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles. Stay in the game.